Good morning, and welcome to I Can Hear the Sucker Up or Around the Corner One Way or the Other, Winnipeg. Gonna get noisy again today. Now, I have found out that I have missed a part here. Well, we made a little bit of progress yesterday. You'll see that in the rollback. But I did miss a part. I thought it was all done. I thought I had this thing all together and I was ready to paint the parts and stick them together and flip the page. But we have missed a part called A19. Yeah, well, let's find it later and see if it's maybe not too late to put it on. It kind of looks like it was supposed to go in between two pieces here. Yeah, well, let's first of all, let's just roll back and see how it is we got to where we are, and then we'll carry on and worry about our A19. Okay, continuing right along here this afternoon. Now, when I'm going to be using the macro lens to zoom in on something, I don't like it to be moving around. So quite often you don't see it, but I have my photo etch sheet usually taped down. Something like this. But this time you get to see it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one on camera, and then I'm going to show you my concern that how I could possibly damage this thing. Okay, as I mentioned, we're just going to do the one on camera. We'll do number 25 here. Okay, now, this is my concern, that when I'm taking it off of the plastic sheeting, like it's stuck on a piece of plastic sheeting on the other side here, you can just see it, and that I could twist it and spoil this joint, which is supposed to end up having sort of a little bit of a square end. So I'm thinking, maybe if I was to release that first, I want this whole thing to come up as one flat unit. It's almost completely loose here. There we go. It's loose. All right. So we got it. Now I'm going to have to be careful with it because we're going to have to bend it towards these folding lines, and it'll come together and make sort of a very sharp V, as you're going to see after I get the other 5 pieces nipped off. Okay, they're all cut. They're all in their tins. They're all properly labeled. And I have probably spent 5 times as much time again trying to figure out how these are supposed to go, because only one of them, the number 24, has the extra bending line. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. And the reason for that is because the number 24 goes on this one right here, which is this one right here, and you can see where it comes straight in, and then right here it takes a little bit of a jog, and then it goes the rest of the way up to where it fastens onto the bracket here. Now this one here is an exact mirror image in every way. If you follow the lines, it comes in, takes a bit of a jog, and then it goes to the bracket. They're identical in every way. However, the one that is supposed to go on here is number 29. Number 29 has no folding line. It's not even the same size, And I've checked the others. It's not like I got them mixed up somehow. It just doesn't seem to work out. Now, okay, I think what I'll do is I'll put 24 on first, and I'm probably going to have to do it off camera because there's going to be a lot of delicate finagling going on here, and it'll be too easy to mess it up. So we'll take a look at it after I'm done here, but I don't want to accidentally bend it the wrong way. Okay, so the idea is that we want to bend it towards the folding line. Oh, another thing. This one, it only has one folding line here, whereas all the others at this point right here, they have two folding lines, probably about 1/2 millimeter apart. But this one, there's definitely only the one. So, yeah, the way we fold it will be just to go up and over. And this one here, we'll just take a very, very slight bend in, just very light. I don't think we need Andy's bender for this. It should bend fairly easy at the right place, just like that. Okay, so that bend then. So let me move this in a bit. Maybe I should be putting the macro lens on, right? Maybe I'll put the macro lens on. We'll see if we can lay this one on here, just for the fun of it. Okay, I've taped it down so that it's not going to slide around out of the view of the camera. At least that's the plan. Now, this one here was the one we were looking at for the number 24. And this is our number 24. And we're going to want to bend this around so that it comes into a sharp V. And I know it's going out of focus there, but I wonder, maybe I should be using Andy's bender here. I'm just sort of eyeballing this here. I don't want to be having to bend it back and forth, because I can imagine this could very easily break. Give it a little bit more here. It's almost there. Sorry, I have to sort of take it off camera there in order to do this. Well, I guess I don't have to. I guess if I was to set up jigs and stuff like that, I could do it, but there's only a limit to how much I want to go here. All right, now I can see where this is too high. In order to have this straight up and down, this one here has to be elevated. And if I have this one down touching on the platform like it's supposed to, then this one is crooked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it off like this, lay it on its side, and sort of hold this down like this, and then just sort of pull this down a bit. Okay, let's try it now. Oh, there I go with the ugly finger again. It's got to be squeezed together just a little bit. If I have this there. Okay, I think that can be squeezed a little bit and this short joint should be straightened out just a little. Okay, let's try that. It's almost got it. Almost got it. I've trying to decide what is the best way to do this. Maybe if I was to slip a little bit of waxed paper underneath this one right here, and I could drop a little bit of CA, otherwise I'm going to end up gluing it to the green cloth. It's not quite right, is it? Just let me adjust it a little bit more here. I did remember to press record, didn't I? No, it's not. It's still not right. Otherwise, it's going to be falling off the edge. Oh, now I got it too much in. I wonder if I was to and what I'm trying to do is straighten this joint right here out a bit. It's too sharp. Okay, I'm wondering if I was just hold this one down with the holder downer, rig it up somehow, and then just sort of glue this one in place, then pull this one over, hold it down with the holder downer, and get it in place. I'm going to think about that, but otherwise, it's almost where it's supposed to go here. On this one. This one is almost perfect. Well, it is perfect. Well, nothing's ever perfect, but you know what I mean. Perfect for me. Okay, I'm using one of Gabe's swabs here as a pointer. I've pulled the end off of it, and the plan is this. I'm going to put a little bit of CA extra thin quick setting right here. Not the Tamiya quick setting, the CA. And my plan is to just drop it on so that hopefully the applicator is not going to touch the photo etch, because if it touches it, it'll probably stick to it. And then it'll wick its way along the bottom, probably, I'm guessing, to about halfway. It won't go all the way around and adhere this. I'm quite sure of that, unless I accidentally drop too much on here and it just sort of flows across the platform. But anyway, that's the plan. Just let me move in just a little closer if I can. Okay, this is the quick setting. Now, squeezing very carefully. I don't want to gush it out. Maybe I should be forming the little bubble on the end before I put it here. Yeah, I think I better do that. Okay, it might be hard to see, but there is some on there. Okay, I'm guessing about 2 or 3 minutes has passed here. I just want to see, does it look like that's still wet or is that hard now? No, I think that's hard. Okay, so in other words, I should be able to tap this and it won't move. Alright, that means I should be able to pull this out. Yes. Now, if I could just hold it down right there, maybe I will rig up the holder downer for this one. Okay. I'll snap a few pictures so that you can see what I've just done here. Okay, now the plan is to drop a little bit of CA glue on the platform back here where you won't be able to see it, but hopefully you should be able to see it wicking its way along the crack on your side of the photo etch piece right here. Then I'm going to see if I can maybe drop some right on the inside, right down in here, and that will sort of fill up the point. Now this is all the underside. We're not going to be seeing, we won't be seeing what I'm touching right now. That'll be the underside of this platform. But we will see it from the sides. Okay, here we go. There's the first one. Once again, that was a little bit more than I had planned for, but if that cures like that, it's going to be quite strong. Maybe I'll take one of Gabe's swabs here and just sort of remove some of that. We don't need quite that much. You know, I'm going to buy some more of these. These are sure fast. Okay. There's a little bit of excess over here too. Let's get rid of that. Now, you couldn't see that, but this thing just wicked it right up. Okay. What about right here on the end? It doesn't need to be that thick. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is try and put the other one on here. I'm just going to quickly go ahead and try and get the other 5 on, and hopefully it is my plan that by this evening I've got this starfish done. I don't see why not. I'm just not going to be videoing it. We saw the probably one of the more difficult ones being put on because it had the extra bend involved. Whereas the other ones, they're just an ordinary V. They should go on fairly well. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to meet up here like it's supposed to, because I'm noticing that this one here is about 1 millimeter short of this line, where this line is going to meet right here. So it may not. I suppose what I could do is I could maybe fill it up with CA thick or something like that. That would strengthen the joint right there. And anyway, this is on now. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna break off. Okay, we're done here. And I did them all except one the way you saw me do it. In other words, I would glue one side on, wait for it to cure, and then I would bend the other side until it was just right. And that actually worked quite well, except once, like I say, it got away on me and I accidentally did both sides at the same time, but fortunately they were more or less where they're supposed to go. And I used the Bob Smith Industries Instacure CA glue, and I used the Instaset throughout the entire build. It looks like it's wet there, but I'm pretty sure it's cured. It's just cured shiny. Now I'm debating, should I maybe give it its first coat while it's off of the tripod, or should I just install it on the tripod? And because I'm thinking in all likelihood I'm going to have to give it 2 coats. I think I'm going to go ahead and just try and paint this, and yeah, I'm just going to give it 1 coat and then stick it on, and we'll see what happens. Maybe it's not a good idea, but that's what we're going to do. Okay, that actually went extremely well. It's still wet in places anyway, but this pink thing, it was a perfect fit to go up inside that hole there. It was a tight fit, but at least I don't need to worry about any paint getting up in there. But it actually, let me turn it a little different for the light maybe. Maybe this is better. Now that's just the first coat, but because this worked out so well, I'm going to do the same thing for the second coat. Okay, we need a couple of more pieces of plastic here yet. D18, D2, some sort of a boom. And then I think that except for the painting and the putting the starfish down on this part right here, step 30 will be done. We're just motoring right along. I don't know if that's going to happen this evening or not, but probably not, because we've got to do the painting. So anyway, let's get it. 18 and 2. Okay, here is D2. And 18. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was. I was expecting something bigger than this. Okay, now looking at this piece that we just cut off here. Okay, so we get a better grip on it here. Now, right here is the flashing where we nipped it off, but it almost looks to me like that is also supposed to be a positioning pin. I think maybe what we should be doing is getting the tripod over here. I think we can carefully lay it down and just see where it's supposed to fit, or which way it's supposed to go. Yeah, I've got a feeling that well, let's stop talking about it. Let's do it. Okay, clearly you can see we've got a square hole, and if we put this to the right orientation here, yeah, now that I'm in a little closer, I can actually see that this is supposed to be a square peg. If we cut it off like this, okay, now then this should go in that hole. It might not want to go at first, but I think it will with some extra thin. You know, my fingers are just too clumsy here. Okay. I'm going to have to reposition. Okay. That's it. Okay, I'm looking straight down on it now, and it does look to be in line with everything. So, yeah, the square peg lined up with the square hole. Okay. Now, let's get this thing cleaned up and get it stuck on. Okay, now you can see we've got two flat sides. We've got a flat side here, we've got a flat side here, and then we've got what you might call a quarter round. And I believe that it is supposed to go like this. I believe that the one flat side obviously has to go against the part, and the other flat side I believe is going to go down. So let's try not to bump anything out of a line here. And if I got this right here again, yeah, like that. And just do it rather quickly. Okay, I'm looking straight down on it to make sure that it is correct this way, and it does seem to be all right. Don't know if I dare put a little pressure on there or not. I don't think I need to. It's setting up already. Okay. Yeah. Let's just leave that for a few minutes. Now, a few minutes ago, when I was editing out the last scene there, or the last few scenes, I guess you'd say, I was realizing that I wasn't sticking on my macro lens as often as I should. For instance, when we were dealing with this little part here on the back, it would have been better if I had been able to zoom right in. And I know that maybe some people would be able to see that that was a square peg, but possibly some people wouldn't be able to. Whereas if I had if I had to put the macro lens on, everybody would have been able to see that it was a square peg going in a square hole. Now I was going to take and put the second coat on our starfish, which is over here. But I'm getting kind of tired, and what do we got here? It's going on for 9 o'clock already. So I think I'm going to leave it for the morning. And today's rollback is, in other words, the rollback for this video, which we are producing right now. This is getting complicated. I must be getting tired. In other words, we've been at the model table quite a bit this afternoon and this evening, so I think I've probably done enough. I think it's time to just sort of call it a night. So, yeah, we'll see you in the morning. Well, it is morning, and here we go with A19. Now, obviously we're going to have to flip this over so that this opening is on the left side, at least to our perspective. And what I'm seeing here, if we follow the arrow from the point here back, it looks like it's supposed to be sort of a little archway for where you'd walk through. Maybe once we get the parts out here and try to stick them together, it'll make a little bit more sense. Yeah, I don't know if this was supposed to be some sort of maybe a shield, or I don't know what it would be for. Well, like I say, I guess we'll know once we start to stick it together. It might, like I say, might make more sense. Okay, let's stop talking about it and let's see what we can do. I'm just going to go ahead and nip it off. Okay, we are going to try and let gravity be our friend here somehow. You can see how it's supposed to go there. And I'd like to try and get it in so that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on camera or not, because it's probably going to just fall right through as soon as I try to let go of it. I'm going to maybe have to somehow support it from the back. You know what? I am going to have to do this off camera because my angles are just not quite right here. But anyway, you can see how it's supposed to go. I think I can get it. But I'm pretty sure that as soon as I let go of it, it's going to want to fall through. The chances of it staying where it's supposed to stay is, yep, pretty slim. Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes when we get this thing in where it's supposed to be. Okay, I had tried with little success of getting this thing to stay there all by itself. And then I thought if I was to put a piece of masking tape at the back, and as you can see, this is my first attempt, by the way. If I can just set it down there and then let it fall back, at least it won't fall all the way through. Now, the idea is that the top of this piece of photo etch is supposed to lean back against this upper whatever. Now just go real easy so it doesn't sort of flip out of there. It doesn't want to go back. These legs are too close together here. Maybe I'm going to have to do this differently. I don't know how. This thing's starting to move around on me. If I was to put it in at a bit of an angle. No, that's not working. Maybe if I was to, okay, I can set it, if I was to set it on here and then slide it up. Let me check the monitor. Have I moved it completely out of the scene now? No, it's still sort of there. Trying to poke it from the back. I need something sharp here that'll so I can grab it from both sides at the same time. I think what's happening is I'm catching on my tweezers in the back are pushing on the tape. Whoops. I'm going to end up with this thing on the other side of the room and you'll never see it. Well, come on, Ron. If I maybe wedge it like this. That's about it. That's about it. Okay, now don't move it. Okay, well, I'm thinking of it. At the beginning of today's episode, I said something about I have discovered that I have forgotten this A19. What I should have said was, thanks to those viewers who reminded me about this. I didn't discover this all on my own. I probably would have missed it and had this piece all painted and then realized, okay, now you can see we've got it almost exactly where it's supposed to go. So what my plan is now is to take a tiny little bit of CA extra thin and put it on the top there. I don't know if I dare do it on the bottom because I'm afraid it could wick in and glue the tape to the part. Whereas if I only put it on the top here, that should be enough that I can still remove the tape, unless I was to put a little bit on the side, very small amount. Okay, I'm going to have to think of how to do this here. Okay, as you can see, I have recomposed here. Now, if I put it on the top and just let it run down, okay, now that should actually be fairly stiff. Where's my curing agent? Okay, it may not look like there's any on there, but there's just a little bit, just the smell of it. Okay, that should start the cure. I would think in about 2 minutes that's going to be strong enough that I can carefully remove the tape from the back, and then we'll glue the where it's on the bottom platform. I'm guessing about 4 minutes has passed here, maybe 5. Okay, I do believe we're ready to glue. You know what? I wonder if it would be a good idea to glue this from the back instead of from the front. It almost looks like there's a little bit of what you might call a trough there that the glue can sit in, and it won't be seen from the other side. And let's just reposition here a little bit and see if we can't just do that. I think that it was going to work out really good. It seems that no matter how I turn it, I can't get it right for the camera. Okay. I'm watching this in the monitor now, and I'm trying to angle this so that you can see it. It's yeah, it's glued in place there pretty good. Okay, I'm going to call today's episode quits here. I can hear the tractor coming closer and closer. Yeah, that's not going to fall out of there. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, We'll be seeing you tomorrow.